What's going on, everyone? Jack here from AFCRO. Now, there's been a lot of speculation that the Mavic Mini 2 is on the way, and I think that it just might be. So what will that be? Well, let's talk about it. Okay, so there's a lot of sites out there telling you about what this drone is going to be, and really the answer is we don't really know. Most of the information comes from Ocida LV, and while his Twitter feed has been pretty spot on in the past, he's had a few misses. So, you know, you got to kind of take this information with a grain of salt. But I do think that this drone is coming, and likely sometime in November, so that it's ready for the Christmas drop. The first thing that we can expect to happen is a 4K camera, right? The Mavic Mini camera is actually really pretty darn good, and the best camera you can get on a drone for less than $500. In fact, you know, the Mini only costs $399. So, you know, upgrading there is going to be really nice. I found the Mavic Mini to be suitable in a pinch if you had to, even for something like a real estate shoot. So with an upgraded camera, that's going to be a bonus. Now, 4K is probably going to happen, but something we really think needs to happen is a better and higher bit rate, right? That just allows for less compression, and you're going to get a cleaner, less jittery looking video. Another thing we've seen in leaks is the battery is supposedly getting smaller. Now, not by much, right? It's going from 25 to 2200 milliamp hours or something right around those numbers. And that's not a huge drop, but a smaller battery means probably a lighter battery. So why would they have to lighten the battery? Well, you know, maybe they're adding some other software, right? A 4K camera probably requires a little bit more cooling, maybe a heat sink or a better fan, or perhaps they're adding something like rear and front obstacle avoidance, right? You'd have to lighten the drone up to add some more components. So we could be getting some of those things as well. I'd really like to see that so that we can add some features like Follow Me, right? The Mavic Mini doesn't have Follow Me enabled, and largely because there aren't sensors in the front to kind of help avoid obstacles. So adding those would be definitely a bonus. Now with the smaller battery, the flight time, it's kind of hard to predict it getting better. Hopefully we get it to be about the same. And I think even with a smaller battery, you could have roughly the same amount of energy if we went with higher voltage LiPos. It's pretty typical of DJI to kind of add a flight mode or two to their new drones when they release them, and that's something I think we could see here with the Mini. Probably Follow Me would be the one that I think most people are looking for. Plus, you know, hey, why not throw in a GPS mode? I think most of their tracking features were vision-based. I really prefer things like orbit specifically to be GPS-based. Do I know that's coming? No, absolutely not, but that's something we'd really like to see. Now let's talk price. We've seen some leaks of it being probably about $50 more expensive. That's probably about right, $450-ish, with the Fly More coming in right around between $500 and $600, probably $600. Now that's all speculation, nobody really knows, but that seems to make sense, and that would follow trends that we've seen with DJI all along. It makes sense for DJI to release this drone prior to Christmas because there are a whole lot more buyers for a sub $500 drone than something like a Mavic 3, which is going to be, you know, closer to $2,000, right? They really need to take their time on that drone and make sure that it is absolutely perfect and has some features that really set it apart from the Mavic 2 Pro before that one is released. So you can expect this one coming out fairly soon, I would guess. So the question is, should you buy the Mavic Mini 2? Well, you know, if you have a Mavic Mini, is it really worth the upgrade? I'm guessing it's probably not going to be worth an upgrade per se, right? If you're going to upgrade, probably the Mavic Air 2 is a better drone to upgrade to, but if you don't have one yet, maybe the Mavic Mini 2 might fill that niche for you. But if you're thinking, should I hold out and wait for the Mavic Mini 2? I don't know about that either. You know, the Mavic Mini is really a good drone, and at $50 cheaper, you know, 4K, which is really overrated in my book, is probably not worth it. Maybe, you know, if they throw in some really good flight modes, that could make a difference, but we shall see. Other little things that I expect to be different, the remote control, probably similar to the Mavic Air 2 style. It's a little bit easier to make sure the antennas are in a good place. They probably already have that mold. You know, it just would make sense they're kind of going with that style. But we'll see. You know, remote, not a big deal. Either way, you're still using your phone as the screen for the drone. Are we going to get Occusync? Gosh, I'd love to say yes, but it's kind of hard to say. We'll see. You know, the Mavic Mini did just get a firmware upgrade that supposedly increases the range, and I think that actually is a little bit more telling. We're probably going to get that, you know, better Wi-Fi with the Mavic Mini 2 versus an actual Occusync connection. In the end, time will tell. Either way, if the Mavic Mini 2 does happen, you can expect to see one on this channel. So if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. If not, hey, no problems. Thumb that thing down and we'll do better next time. If you got any questions, comments, leave them down below and we'll get to them. I love answering your questions. And if you don't have one in the comments, it's hard for me to do that. Anyway, if you haven't already, check us out on halfchrome.com. We have everything from photography to FPV. Hey, good luck and happy flying.